Okay, so this morning I got a support ticket from a prospective member. I shot him an email and he replied back. I hope you don't mind me using this example. Your name and information is not here, but I thought it was a great question. I'm intimidated by the world of trading. For as long as I can remember, your YouTube videos are the first to make me believe with the proper education and guidance that I can do this, even though currently I have no earthly idea how any of this works. Okay. So before I join the group, can you recommend a book or two that get me started in the right direction? All right. And then I shot him an email and I said, hey, have you done anything? Have you ever bought? Have you ever sold? Have you ever went long? Have you ever went short? And he said, years ago, kind of as a joke, long story. That's kind of funny because he actually went long. 7 shares of Cheesecake Factory and he made $60. Hey, that's more than a lot of traders make when they're starting. The market has always fascinated me and intimidated me. There's that word again, intimidated. Is it intimidated because of the fear of loss? Is it intimidated because of the financial terms that you got to use? I'm not really sure where the intimidation comes from, but you've mentioned it twice. Your website and YouTube channel, I love your, but it looks like it might be totally over my head. He doesn't want to enter a community where he feels like he knows absolutely nothing. Video instruction is great, of course. But, interesting word, I learn better by the printed page. Can you suggest a starting book for me that is simpler and more beginner friendly? Well, first of all, I'm going to say that the way we trade is a visual art. Telling me you want to learn by a book is like you telling me you want to become an oil painter, but you only want to learn it by the book. No, we got to get our hands dirty. This is a visual art and you've got to learn it visually. I want you to see the videos because it puts things in motion. This is an art form done in motion. So it must be learned in motion. You need to watch Zoom so you can see it in motion and then apply what you learn in boot camp to the Zoom and it will start to click. Now, I was the nerd back in middle school in the 80s, I kid you not, that walked around with a briefcase. I had the stock market page in the back of my pocket. Every day in math, the teacher let me put the closing price of the Dow Jones Industrial Average and the closing price of West Texas Intermediate Crude Oil. I was that nerd guy. In high school, I did the stock competition. I was reading Peter Lynch, Went Up on Wall Street. I was reading Market Wizards. I was reading Winning on Wall Street by Martin Zweig. I believe I'm pronouncing that right. So I have grew up with just slowly accumulating the knowledge through time. If it's financial literacy you need, well, you might want to go to the CME website because they have a full training course on these terms, the CMEgroup.com. And somewhere on the CMEgroup.com, if you go to the top and click education, you'll see courses and lessons. Courses and lessons. Let me slide this over. So on the CME Group website, cmegroup.com, click education here and you'll see courses and lessons. Probably a fantastic place to start if you're interested in trading futures. Anything to do with options, you don't need to worry about it. We trade futures. We trade mainly micro futures, which is the smallest contract with the least risk. And in fact, if you wanted to even take less risk, you could trade SPY shares with no commission on top of it. So if you want to, come in here and read this stuff. You want to read? This is where, in my opinion, you'd probably get the greatest information. Now, I am working on a Futures 101 course. It's going to be free on my website and just for someone exactly like you. One of my members, I think of him very clearly. He came to me as a business executive. He didn't know stock stuff, but he knew business stuff. He didn't know futures, but he knew business. And all I had to do was help bridge that gap. And of course, I'm sure he's doing some of his own research as well and bringing it all together. But I urge you to know that this is a visual art in motion and it needs to be learned visually in motion and then reinforced while live on Zoom. That's how this works. Okay, so if you want a book, go to the cmegroup.com education. All right, if you have any more questions, let me know, my friends. And to learn more about our group, go to microstrader.com.